But first, I am on the phone and we are speaking about World Down Syndrome Day, which is tomorrow. I'll be chatting on the phone with Lisa Ghany, who is the PR for Down Syndrome Family Network. Good morning and welcome, Lisa.
Hi, good morning.
So tomorrow, being World Down Syndrome Day, is the day where we highlight this condition. And it's a condition where the 21st chromosome is, there's a copy of it actually, and it causes what we know today as Down syndrome. But what else, things that the public should know about Down syndrome itself?
Well, I think we like to promote now a couple of things that, that are sort of international best practices. One is early intervention. And so when we talk about early intervention, we really are looking at the parents and family and caregivers understanding that, once they have a child with Down syndrome, then they need to sort of do everything that is possible to support that child from a very early stage. So they need early intervention from specialists who can help them with speech, language, occupational therapy, school, simple things like potty training, understanding what their child's milestones will be, how the child differs from a typical child as far as growth and development, and making sure that they put those things in place very early because, a child develops at a certain rate and in certain stages, and we have to be able to meet those stages and help them to have the support that they need to progress. So we want to look at early intervention from a family perspective. Then we want to look at presuming competence. And presuming competence goes from both a family perspective and also from a community perspective. And the onus really is on us to presume the competence in the person with a disability. So whether it is a child with Down syndrome or dyslexia or a person who is physically challenged, don't see the disability first.
Right.
See the person first and then look at what they can do and not what they cannot do. And presume competence also means that with the support and with the right type of tools, teaching tools and other tools, the person will be able to do what they can do. And then the last thing, of course, is inclusion. And so inclusion is a responsibility of everyone, from school to employment to social activities to family activities, because in many cases we find that there may be a parent or caregiver in the home that takes on all the responsibility of the person with the disability and excludes the other family members as though they're doing them a favor. But really and truly, everyone in the family should be part of this person's life and should be helping to contribute in some way. And it's a mutually beneficial thing. So, we need to include the family first in everything that we do.
And, the point that I'm getting from that there as well is because, yes, a family member or a friend or a loved one may be thinking they're doing a service to the person who does have Down syndrome by giving them special attention, yes, but then when they exclude the other family members, then they would feel like they're being treated differently in a kind of backhanded way.
Yes, and it's a very, what would I say, it's very challenging because, in one way, the parent wants to take care of this child with a special need, and they don't realize that the taking care of is really teaching them and supporting them so that they can support themselves eventually.
Definitely. And, for someone who does not have Down syndrome or may not have a family member, a loved one with Down syndrome, what are some of the basic things that we should know or we should practice when interacting with someone with Down syndrome?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to treat them as we would say normally. Don't treat them as, again, and this comes from the presuming competence and recognizing that a person with Down syndrome, they have a cognitive disability. So they can learn, but they may take a little longer to understand and to maybe even react. So the use of simple language, and this is not talking down to the person or talking slowly like, hello, how are you? No, it's not like that. It is just using simple language, making sure that you acknowledge that the person understands what you have communicated to them, taking time to listen to them communicate to you, because many persons with Down syndrome have speech disabilities. So one of the tools that they use internationally as well is sign language. If a person cannot, speak clearly enough to be understood, sign language could be an option to teach your child sign language so that they can have a form of communication. So speaking and communicating in a simple way, looking for acknowledgement. Also, some things we all learn through repetition. Right. So the more that you do something is the more that you'll get it. So things like teaching your child to use the internet, giving them a laptop or a tablet so that they can practice using the tool, and eventually they will develop the skill.
Definitely. So, and that and many more like tools are what are necessary.
A child with Down syndrome can ride a bicycle without training wheels, but it's just like your typical kid. You're going to have to go out there and practice, and eventually they'll get it.
Of course. And with that, we are unfortunately out of time, but I want to thank you so much, Lisa Ghany, PR, Down Syndrome Family Network, and tomorrow's World Down Syndrome Day.